Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to talk about Negotiable Instruments Act, and specifically I will deal with dishonor of check, specifically in this time, which is COVID pandemic time. There have been so many instances of check dishonor which has happened of late as a result of balance not being there in the account, or the delivery of check not happening because people are placed in remote areas and are not able to do any NEFT transaction, etc. Why I'm going to talk about it is because there have been recently many queries which have been generated by people asking specifically about what remedy do they have as far as dishonor of check is concerned. So, the current global situation has actually left all of us in a condition that no one can imagine. No one even imagined it before. Even though there have been various attempts by both the government and judiciary to come to the rescue of its citizens, however, there is an increase in number of check bounces cases, and there are worried citizens who are trying to get advice on how to deal with the situation. Most businesses actually survive on a monthly income or sales that are generated, and therefore do not have a kitty which is set aside for such emergencies. Thus, non-maintenance of balance into company's current account and check bouncing have caused anxiety specifically in the minds of small and medium-sized business owners and entrepreneurs. Although, like I said, the government is looking at the option of decriminalizing Section 138 of Negotiable Instruments Act, yet there is still a long way to go as far as that is concerned. So, the Honorable Supreme Court on 6 May 2020 did extend the limitation under Section 138 Negotiable Instruments Act 1881, that is the period within which the complainant has to act in order to ascertain his rights. This basically means that once there is a dishonor of check that takes place, the complainant has to send a legal notice within 30 days from the date on which he or she was intimated. This is basically the intimation from the bank about dishonor of check, and once the notice is issued, a 15 days time is granted in order to discharge the liability immediately before the expiry of the said 15 days takes place. In the event that such payment is not made, then the complainant is required to file a case within 30 days from such rejection or from such expiry of the 15 days. Now, check is a negotiable instrument which has been defined under Section 6 of Negotiable Instruments Act, and in legal terminology, the author of a check is called the drawer, while the person in whose favor the check is drawn is called the payee, and the bank who is directed to pay the amount is called the drawee. When a check is dishonored, the drawee bank issues a term called as check return memo to the banker of the payee, clarifying the reason as to why the non-payment of the check has taken place. It is important to note that insufficient funds is typically the reason which is given, and a 138 proceeding can take place in the event that there is an insufficient fund which is there. So, the payee can then sue the drawer of the check for default in paying any liability, and it is important to note that a 138 proceeding will lie only for legally enforceable dues, and checks for gift purposes, the drawer cannot be prosecuted. Now, a proceeding under Section 138 can be initiated in the event that there is insufficient funds in the drawer's account, and upon receiving the complaint and relevant documents and affidavits, the court can then summon the drawer, and here's the entire matter. In the event that the drawer is found guilty, then he has to pay twice the amount to the payee, or imprisonment for a period of 2 years, or both. Now, Supreme Court has time and again said that Section 138 of Negotiable Instruments Act is a civil wrong, and it should be dealt as a summary trial, and that punitive aspect of it should be avoided. If the court is satisfied that the check amount assessed is paid along with the interest, then the court can close the proceedings and discharge of the accused can take place upon such satisfaction. So, in an offence under Section 138 of Negotiable Instruments Act, mens rea is not essential, and such a measure is resorted to in public interest, and such laws of strict liability are justified and cannot be said to be unreasonable. Now, the principle of territorial jurisdiction, which was laid down in Bhaskaran versus Shankaran Vaidyan Balan, was overruled in Dashrath Roop Singh Rathore versus State of Maharashtra. This was what we call as a watershed moment, specifically as far as territorial jurisdiction was concerned, wherein it was clarified that only those courts within the territorial limits of the drawee banks would have the jurisdiction to try such cases. This resulted in the inability of the complainant to file multiple cases in different jurisdictions with a view to harass the accused, because this is typically what was happening before that. And as a result of the Dashrath Roop Singh Rathore judgment, this flexibility that the complainant would have to harass the accused person was then done away with. And the hardship that they would typically face was done away with. Again, we see that a fair bit of emphasis is laid time and again on mediation as far as a mechanism to settle the Negotiable Instrument Act related cases are concerned. There are instances of pre-litigation mediation, as well as Lok Adalats are formed, where if there is a possibility of a settlement that can take place, one sees that the courts typically come to the rescue and help as far as settlement is concerned. Also, there are so many instances that we see where transfer petitions are filed in Supreme Court for 138 matters. A lot of times we see that such matter may be filed because of the age of let's say the accused person being him being a senior citizen, suffering from age related ailments, as a result of which they would want to have the entire trial shifted to wherever it is that the senior citizen resides. There are also many instances when transfer petitions are allowed from the Honorable Supreme Court with respect to jurisdiction. So, there are many ways in which one will see that 138 cases can be disposed of very easily without being harassed by be it the complainant being harassed by the accused person or vice versa. All that is important also is to understand that how service takes place, because I think one of the key issues that one faces as far as 138 cases are concerned is the service of the summons, and that we see as far as Delhi High Court rules are concerned. Now WhatsApp can also be used, email can also be used for service, and there have been instances where service has been effected through WhatsApp. So that's it from me today. If you have specific questions, you can definitely write to me or leave your queries in the comment box below. Do like my videos and share them, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you have specific queries, you can write to me on my email ID pallavi.pratap@pratapandcompany.com. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a very nice day.